Now we are ready to learn how to ask questions to the database to extract information. Let's first recap how to write SQL queries. First, identify which tables hold the information you need. Then, identify which columns you need. Now, which rows do you need? Can you build your conditional statements to pull them out, thinking about the data types? For more complicated queries, you may need to sort using order by, aggregate rows using group by, or calculate new variables using variables given using the keyword as, or combine tables. If you need to build multiple queries, you can use views to save queries as you go. Are you now comfortable identifying and specifying the tables, columns, and rows you need? Then you are now ready to ask questions to a database. To extract information from databases, there are 4 key concepts you need to understand. Given tables in a database, first, you will learn to ask real-world questions, then translate them into data questions in the form of an SQL query. The software will return the data answer in the form of results from the query formatted as tables. Finally, you should translate the results from the query into a real-world answer for the real-world question you asked. In addition, you will have to learn Boolean logic, that is, and, or, not, in order to write good queries. Now, let's see how to ask questions and get answers using a very simple example. Here is a patient table in the database. You may want to print this and the visit table out so you can look at it as we go through the steps in the following slides. Given the patient table, first, the real-world question we want to ask is how many pediatric patients do we have? That is, patients under age 18. Second, the question in the form of an SQL query looks like this with 3 keywords. It means select the columns patient name and age from the patients table where the patient's age is under 18. Third, the query will result in a table with 2 columns, the patient name and age, with rows that meet the condition. These would be rows 9 and 13 in the patient table. Finally, I can translate these results to answer my real-world question. That is, there are 2 patients under 18. Note that in this example, the condition states age under 18, so 18 does not count. Thus, Noah in row 11, who is 18, will not be included. Now, let's try another example with 2 tables. Here is part of the visit table. Note that there is a foreign key from the patient table called the patient ID in the visit table. Using the patient ID, we can join the patient table with the visit table to get the names of patients for a particular visit using this SQL query. Note the asterisk symbol means all columns in SQL. So the query states, select the patient name column from the patients table and all columns from the visit table from the patient and visit tables, where you will join the 2 tables using the patient ID. This query would result in a new visit table like this that includes the patient name. On the final, you'll be given one of the 4 things and asked to write out the other 3. For example, here's a practice question where I ask the real-world question and ask you to write the corresponding SQL query, predict the query results that SQL will return, then looking at those results, answer the real-world question. Let's start. The real-world question is, how many patients does Dr. Kobe J have? One SQL query may look like this. Select patient name from patients where doctor equals quotes Dr. Kobe J. Then I predict that SQL will return this table of 1 column and 4 rows with John Black, Courtney Jones, Blake Noah, and Christopher Bell. Then, looking at this table from SQL, the real-world answer is Dr. Kobe J. has 4 patients. It is important to note that there are many variations of SQL queries that are all equally correct. Here is another correct answer. Select asterisk from patients where doctor equals quote Dr. Kobe J. Can you guess what the query result would look like? Yes, it would return all 10 columns from the patient table for the same 4 rows. And what would the real-world answer be? Yep, it would be the same 4 patients. Okay, here is another variation. Is this correct? No, it would not be correct because it is missing the quotes for the value Dr. Kobe J. Without it, SQL will be looking for a column with this name and not able to find it. Remember, you need quotes around any string value you are looking for. Now, you try on your own using these tables in the poll for this week on Google Drive. You should also be getting more practice through 2 more labs and assignment 6. Answer keys for the poll will be posted the week before midterm 2, and answers to assignment 6 will be posted on the last day of class after submission. These will all help you study. The important takeaway for this module is using SQL queries to extract information from databases. Given one of 4 things, that is the real-world question, the data question, the data answer, or the real-world answer, you should learn to figure out the other 3 things. This is what you will be tested on in the final SQL take-home exam.